What's up, y'all? Today we are talking about Matt Proxy's debut album, Trojan Horse. We're going to be doing a little review, but it might be a little bit different from most reviews you see on the album or like any music in general. It's going to be more of a appreciation video, not really critiquing certain things. I'm definitely going to talk about stuff I like from it and aspects from it that I like. But this album is very creative. It's very artistic. It's very experimental. So it's not really like something to be like, oh, I wish it sounded like this or that or whatever, because that's not really the point of an album like this. Like, Matt Proxy did not make this album for me. He did not make this album for none of the fans. He made this for himself. This was his own self-expression. This is a true artistic album, and I think the way I'm approaching it would be better than like a critique video. So first of all, who is Matt Proxy? Real quick, you guys may not know him. So Matt Proxy is a new up and coming artist. He's been in the game for a bit now, a couple of years making music. This is his debut album, Trojan Horse, and he recently got some traction with the new Cypher XL freestyle. His verse started out very slow, kind of old school rapping, and all of a sudden you hear who Matt really is in his music and how crazy experimental he is, how he can do both sounds, not just both sounds, like any sound, he's got it super locked in, super cool to see. So today we're going to be reviewing Trojan Horse. The main purpose of Matt Proxy's Trojan Horse album is the idea of sharing everything I couldn't tell you out loud. And what he means by this is, let's think about a Trojan horse, right? The Greek myth where this horse was pushed up to, I actually forgot who got pushed up to, the Romans maybe, I don't know. But it was this big wooden horse on wheels that the enemy thought was a gift. But really, there's a lot more to this horse and than just meets the eye. It's not just a big wooden horse. It's full of a bunch of, again, I don't know, I forgot who was fighting who, but it's full of a bunch of soldiers who came in and invaded and killed a bunch of the enemy. So this album, Trojan Horse, it's on the surface, looking at the horse, it's an experimental rap album. His debut album with super cool sounds, great melodies, a couple good features. That's what we're seeing on the outside. That's the horse. But on the inside, this album carries a deeply vulnerable and emotional confession on his relationships, family, and life trauma. Similarly to how the Greek myth of the Trojan horse appearing to be a gift, but was really full of surprises, just like Matt Proxy's Trojan horse. Um, there's kind of like three main categories I found in this album, and that's family tributes, relationships, and personal struggles, and then spirituality and self-reflection. So those are my three main like categories and things I'm like pulling away that he's really trying to tell us. Okay, so how I'm going to set this up is I'm going to go through each track. So this album has 12 songs, and I'm going to be going through each song and explaining how I feel about it, cool aspects out of it, how it sounds, how I liked it. And then I'm also, more importantly, going to be breaking down what the songs mean, what a lot of the lyrics mean, what it means specifically to me, what I like about it, all these things. Some songs I'm going to talk about more than others. Some songs moved me more than others. Some songs meant to me more than others. But that doesn't necessarily mean that certain songs are better than other songs just because I talk more about it. It could simply just be that there's more to break down, and that's probably what it's going to be like. Okay, track number 1, titled 5, featuring Fake Mink. So this is a great opening song. It starts with a beautiful melody and a great chorus by Fake Mink. Matt also shows his strong rapping skills, flowing well on the beat, and keeping a calm voice. Let's talk about the purpose of this song. Let's break down a little bit of the lyrics. I think the overall purpose of the song is asking us to question our biases and morality. So this is a little bit paraphrasing, but one example is, does the prison system deserve to execute people because they can catch innocent people? Again, that's paraphrasing. He didn't exactly say those words, but that's the message that he's saying. Um, it's a great question. There's a lot of people who do a lot of crazy things, and like I'm not gonna get political about this. Let me just say that. Like I'm not gonna show any political opinion, nothing like that. But it's just a good thought experiment. Is does the prison system deserve to execute people because they can catch innocent people? Like that's pretty crazy. Like people do a lot of crazy, horrible, bad things, and if they deserve to get the death penalty, again, that's up to discussion. But the fact that they can catch innocent people and execute them is crazy. And again, I'm not saying that it's right or wrong to have the death penalty based on these things, but it's something to think about. That's again, he's instantly punching us in the face and being like, he's like attacking our morality and biases. And I think that's really cool. It's a good, again, thought experiment, something good to think about. And it's already getting me thinking in this album. Another example is, does the homeless man deserve your attitude because he has values that don't matter to you? Again, this is another really good thought experiment, something just to think about. Is like we see a homeless man and like a lot of people will kind of usually scoff, or be like, oh, like this sucks that they're just like sitting right here begging me for money or doing this and that. And it's like, that's a person too, bro. Like, hold on. Like and like what he says is, he says that they have values that don't matter to you, and that's an amazing thing to think about because, bro, that's another person. Like, yes, they might be in a worse situation than you. Um, maybe they have a disability that makes it harder for them to get a job, or maybe they are lazy and decide not to get a job. Right? There's both ways, but regardless, they have their own values, and I think values should matter to everybody. I don't think that we should look at people less than because of their situation. That's another, that's just another great thing that he's just boom punching us in the heart there, like right away, like, yo, think about these things. You need to be thinking and questioning things all the time as humans, and I think that he really portrays that well in this song. A beautiful line that I pulled out is, your love is safe, I can't get it out of you. And the way I interpret this, I'm not saying that this is exactly what he meant by it, but this is him probably facing rejection and not receiving, and not receiving love that he's given. So like, because it sounds like when he says your love is safe, I can't get it out of you, is that he's trying to get this individual to love him back, but he can't get it from her. So he says that like people can, like, people say that in so many rap songs, like saying like, oh, this bitch don't like me, oh man, F that hoe because she don't like me. Like you can easily say that, but he words it by saying, your love is safe, I can't get it out of you. I think that's like, again, that really shows his great writing skills. Track two, Stars. This is probably not the, maybe not the most popular song on the album, but the most controversial, and it's probably getting the most attention right now because of how aggressive and crazy and distorted this song starts out. We hear him loud yelling on this beat, and all of a sudden, boom, you can't hear anything. It's just complete bass and distortion. You can't hear any of the words he's saying. But something I noticed that I found really interesting is, even all this crazy noise going around, it's somehow coherent. And maybe that's subjective, and maybe a lot of people wouldn't agree with me, but like, it's still following this beat and melody and pattern. Like, it is purposeful. It's not just he threw a bunch of things in FL Studio and was like, boom, okay, I'm gonna make this sound stupid and crazy. Like, it is still coherent. It's still this beat still following this. And I think that, and like the way I'm thinking about it is like, it's just this crazy emotional mess, but it still matters. It still means something. This isn't just a part of the song where you just skip to get to this other part. Speaking of that, there's a beat change. It changed to calm, like floaty, and it flows really nicely. And in the beginning, and by the way, also, but before we get off the beginning actually does have lyrics. But I looked it up on Genius, and it does actually have lyrics. You just can't really understand what he's saying. But basically, he's just flexing the new fame with fashion, money, talking about women, stuff like that. Just being like, yo, I made it. Boom, 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 this me, all that. And then there's a switch. So again, we get to this beat change, like I said, calm, floaty, it's flowing nicely, all these things. And we hear Matt's grandmother speaking, asking to talk, and she expresses her love and care for him. the way I interpret this is as a person who is that she was a person who was a person, is a person who keeps Matt grounded and pulled him out of that beginning flex mindset. Again, this is my interpretation. I have no idea this is what he actually meant by it, but he was so aggressive and loud and saying all these things. All of a sudden, whoa, he gets pulled out of it. His grandma starts talking to him, and then he goes back into rapping. He starts self-reflecting on himself, almost still with that flexing attitude, but it sounds more like confidence in himself and it's more appreciated and organized. I see this as a split in emotions and mindsets that growing artists face all the time. Like he's getting a lot of new fame, he's getting a lot of new attention. It's like one part of he's like, "Yo, I'm the best man. I'm out here doing this, whatever." There's a difference between that, which again, like a lot of these artists are feeling, and then which is kind of how they perceive the beginning of Stars, and then the second part of Stars is then he's like, I'm still saying like, yo, like I know who I am. I'm doing all these great things. I'm amazing. I'm a good artist. Like saying all this, but again, in a more appreciative sense. Like he's more appreciative for the moment. He feels more blessed about it. Like it's that's how I interpret it, and that's how I feel about that. A standout verse to me from this that I thought was really cool was smoking weed because it's a brand new day. You might be like, well, okay, bro, like, what's so special about that? Again, my interpretation here, I kind of take it a little different than just getting up and just smoking weed because it's a new day. Maybe that's part of it because hell yeah, bro. But I see this as him living and doing what he's got to do because it's a brand new day. Which okay, but it's kind of like chasing your daily bread. It's sometimes I feel like he's kind of saying that he's doing things in this sense just because it's a brand new day. Okay, I woke up, I'm at Proxy, I'm an artist, I got to work hard, I got to get my shit done. We got to get my daily bread. Like that's kind of more how I see that verse, not just saying, "Hey, I'm smoking weed because I woke up today." Track number 3, Atlanta. This one, I don't have a lot written for, but it is a very deep, emotional song centered on the relationship with his father, who was deported by ICE. Obviously, a horrible, sad thing that happened to Matt Proxy, but was able to put it into a song and express his emotions. It's a very sad song, and he's also rapping from multiple perspectives, talking about multiple different things, and I found that very, very cool. A very creative song and a great way to express this tragedy that happened in his life. Track number 4, All You'll Hear Is My Song in Your Head. So this song speaks a lot on his mental state and how like everything is all over the place. He is again, he's kind of been blowing up pretty fast. This hasn't been as gradual. After that Cypher freestyle that a lot of people reacted to, they were able to see that this kid has a lot of talent. I say this kid, he's the same age as me, but this young man has a lot of talent and a lot riding on his name. Like he has made a name for himself. He has a lot of pressure, all these things. So in this song, he's speaking about paranoia, how he has problems sleeping, and how the fame is getting to him. So this song is an expression through how he's navigating this, what emotions he's feeling, and how he's going to move forward. Track number 5, Misery. So this song is more of a deeper reflection on his father and also his sister, who again tragically passed from a drug overdose only a couple months before Trojan Horse dropped, which is gut wrenching and sad. But he's able to put this into his music and just turn a horrible thing into a beautiful expression of art. And in the song, he speaks on what it's like to navigate the chaos of the current music industry and hold and carry all this weight of the trauma. One of the quotes I pulled out, one of the lyrics I pulled out was, "If you see my vision, then listen with eyes closed." The first time I heard this, I feel like I know exactly what he's talking about. I think like this means to just focus on his words and music. Don't concern yourself with anything about him other than his art and his vision. Take in what he's made rather than criticize it. So like if you're like, oh, like this is like this is good. Like I see what he's talking about. This is beautiful. He's putting this all together. Like you see the vision. Now close your eyes and just almost like don't think too much about it is kind of how I interpret that, because again, kind of how I started with this with this video and kind of how I feel like everybody should listen to music is don't listen from a critic perspective. Listen from an artistic perspective, really thinking about how they made it, what they've went through, how they're expressing things. So take a step back and just appreciate the art and appreciate what he's doing, see his vision and love that. And then that's all your part is appreciating his art. You as a listener, not the artist, have nothing else to do other than listen and appreciate, or listen and don't like it and move on with your day. That is all your job is. Then at the end of the song, we hear, "You want to hate me, you want to hate me." He keeps saying that. And I think that this comes from people not understanding his art and like trying to categorize him. I think that's a huge problem in the music industry today with other artists and fans is stop trying to categorize people, bro. Like stop like Matt Proxy raps, but I wouldn't consider Matt Proxy a rapper. He's an artist. He sings a lot. He does rap a lot. He produces a lot. Matt Proxy is not just a rapper here. So don't categorize him and don't hate on him for doing something that's not rap when he's not a rapper. That's just what you call him because he has a song where he raps and his most popular song is rapping. Like stop trying to hate on somebody for doing something creative and different is what I think he's saying by this. New Solution, super tough song. One of my favorite songs on the album. It's a good listening song. It's a fun beat. He's got great flow, and he's just expressing his confidence in his art, sound, and himself. It's not a super deep emotional piece, in my opinion, off this. I mean, everything in the song is definitely emotional and has reason to it, but this is just one of those really good listening songs. That shit's just hard, and he really does express his confidence in his art, sound, and like how I said, all in himself and other aspects of life. And yeah, it's a cool song. Track number 7, Blue. This is another one of my favorite songs off this album. So, first, these beautiful background vocals just instantly hook you right away. The flow is great on it, it's super lyrical. He is super deep in thought and emotion and not scared to say certain things or say it a certain way. He's just saying what he feels. He speaks on drug addiction and abuse, and it's also a tribute to his past sister. Again, how we speak on how she tragically overdosed months before this album dropped. So at the end, he has a tribute to her. Um, a really good verse lyric that I pulled out of this song was "Can't lose myself, so all my friends that I'm losing." I think this just shows more love and confidence in himself. He won't change for anybody and is willing to take external loss. And that's not only a big thing as a musician, but I think it's also very important for everyone to hear. Like, there are people in our life for only certain times, and if you feel something in your life where you need to change or you need to stay yourself or you don't want to change all these things, like you got to do what's right for you. You don't want to change your friends, none of these things. That's what he's saying. So he's not going to lose himself. He's going to stay true to himself. So he's losing a lot of friends that maybe want him to change or maybe want him to do something else, this, that, whatever. It's like, all right, if you're not with me, then cool. Like, we're not going to be friends anymore. And again, that's something really important for everybody as humans with relationships should understand and know. Um, there's an amazing, amazing outro. That's mostly the tribute to his sister. He's saying rest in peace to my sister. And this beautiful electric guitar. There's fireworks in the background. There's an applause and more beautiful background vocals. It is just, oh, it is so beautiful. When I first listened to this album, it felt like the end of the album. Like I felt like it was coming to a close, and I just thought it was really really cool. It felt like the end of a show, and like the curtains were closing. Super beautiful, and maybe that was like part of the tribute to his sister, like kind of like how that um chapter in his life and that door closed in his life after he lost her. Maybe that was kind of like her letting go and her resting in peace, as he was also saying that at the end. Track Never 8, Never Yourself, featuring Never Goodbye. I don't know if I can say the K word on YouTube, but yeah, so title alone obviously has an amazing message. If you are, I don't know if I can say the S word either. If you have bad thoughts about yourself and you're struggling with depression and don't want to be here anymore, you matter. Never do that. It's temporary. Stuff gets better. Find help. Talk to people. People love you, and you will find people that will love you. God loves you. Never forget that. You are never alone. You have God's love. So that's what that title is immediately screaming out. I didn't even have to listen to the song. I'm like, yo, that's an amazing message. The chorus and verses are vocally performed by Never Goodbye. Never Goodbye is a great vocalist, great artist. Um, just love it. Great voice on the song. Flows well, flows nicely. Matt doesn't rap on the song at all or anything like that, but Never Goodbye is just singing on this. Speaks on fear, loneliness, hardships, and overall depression and mental struggle, which is obviously fitting to the title. It's talking a lot about someone who is in the dirt and is struggling through all these things, but all this being said, don't take your life. Like that's like people are going through these things. People are alone. People are scared. They are lonely. They're going through all these hardships and depressed and all these things. But all this being said, at the end of the day, do not do that. Never do that. And that's the purpose and message of this song. And I think that's especially more has more weight for Matt since he um lost his sister to a drug overdose, which is again so heartbreaking and so sad to see. Like I have a sister, and like thinking about that is just it's so sad. Like love your loved ones, man. Love your friends. Love the relationships around you. Track number 9, Meant to Be. Another really good song. They're all great songs, but he speaks a lot on his musical destiny, divine intervention, that being God, and he speaks on his faith in God and resilience through hardships. So his father got deported by ICE. He lost his sister to a drug overdose, but he still sticks with God. He still trusts God. He still has faith in God, and that is such a beautiful thing that he expresses. That's hard. That's hard with this divine power who has the power to do anything, and even through hardships, you're like, God, I trust you. God, I love you. That's exactly what he's saying on the song, and it's so beautiful. So he has super clean vocals on the beginning of the song, but then they transitioned into fuzzy, gritty vocals. And again, this is my interpretation. I don't know if this is truly why he does this, but I think the reason he does this is to play into the disconnect through the listeners. So no one is ever going to understand Matt. No one's ever going to understand you. No one's ever going to understand me because as long as you're not them, you will never fully understand somebody else. And so not only do I think that people are never going to understand his music, but he's also expressing that they're not going to understand him. And I think that he expresses that through using those fuzzy, gritty vocals because he does that in many other songs. And he's also expressed that he feels like people don't understand what he's doing and what he's putting out. And very similar to Runaway by Kanye West at the end, where it's like, where you can't hear anything that he's saying. It just sounds like he's speaking through a microwave. Um, I've kind of, and like we know that the reason that he did that is because he says people don't understand him, and this is what people hear when he talks, anyways. And I think that Matt, who was heavily inspired from Kanye, may be doing that in a similar sense with his fuzzy vocals and kind of like the idea that we couldn't hear him properly anyways, so this is what we're going to hear. And then just more beautiful background vocals on this song. I just want to point that out as well. Track number 10, Love and Addiction. So this song is a little bit more special to me because this song dropped as a single a couple weeks before the album actually dropped, and I heard it the night it dropped, and oh, not only was it just a great song, but I heard fireworks in the background of the song. And I don't know why, but for some reason, ever since I was a child, I love fireworks. I love the sound of them. I love how they look. They're fun, all these things. Like July 4th is my favorite holiday. I love that stuff. And hearing that made the song feel so much more meaningful and like nostalgic to me, and just really hit my heart, just from the sound alone, not even to get into the lyrics yet. But I felt very immersed into this song. Like it felt very personal, and I felt a connection to it, and it was super cool. So I actually DM'd him on Instagram, and I was like, "Yo, dude, like this song is really, really good. It's super creative. Like you are a true artist, man. Keep going." And I woke up the next morning to see that he posted my DM on his story and was like showing love, and I was like, "Wow, that's super cool." uh that like he appreciated like what I was saying, and that's I think that's cool. Like I like how a lot of artists will do that. Like they'll look at that, they'll look at what their fans are saying, and they'll show love to that or appreciate that, because at the end of the day, man, like we're all humans, like we're all appreciating what each other is doing. Like just because like he has followers and like fame from like stages and stuff doesn't mean that he can't appreciate what people are saying about his art and music. And I think it's cool to have that human connection still. Um, but more on what this song means and like the emotional pull behind it is this song blurs the lines between romantic dependency and substance abuse. So it's kind of taking both of them and comparing them, like comparing the emotional highs and lows with romance and drugs. Um, and he talks about using them both as coping mechanisms throughout his life, using THC as his drug of choice, is what it sounds like, and also using women and relationships, girlfriends, also a coping mechanism to either feel loved or feel happy, feel connections, stuff like that. And the song is very calm, slow. There's a sad beat, uh, and a guitar sound in the back was so good. Like the fuzzy vocals I talked about earlier is kind of over the guitar as well. You can hear, and I found that super super cool. And I love rock. I love music like that. So just hearing any guitar, I'm a sucker for a good electric guitar, and I would just play super well in that song. And the song reminds me a lot of that Sandlot scene where they're all like walking out of their houses. Well, he was coming out of the house and like they were playing baseball in the fireworks. I don't know why, but it reminds me of that scene, which again, I mean, Sandlot was a super nostalgic movie for me as a kid. Fireworks nostalgic for me. So like all these things kind of coming together made the song very special to me. A really cool verse that stuck out to me that I wanted to break down was, "It's not a bad habit, just a bad tradition." So I had to look up a little bit about this and think about like, oh, like I know this means something, but I'm not really putting like my finger on it. And I remember hearing it the first time. I was like, yo, this is like this means something. And what it means is he's basically shifting the blame from individual failure. So that would be a habit. So habits are for individual people. Like it's habits is something I create, something you create, whether you have a habit of going to the gym every day or whether you have the habit of drinking a bunch of alcohol every day, right? Good or bad habits. And then yes, we're shifting the blame from individual failure to intergenerational trauma and environmental cycles, which is what a tradition is, right? Like a family tradition is kind of just like something that you're born into. Everybody does that. Or a cultural tradition or a generational tradition, like things that humans do just because society does it and it's what we feel is right. So again, when he says it's not a bad habit, just a bad tradition, he's shifting that blame from individuals to as a whole. So it's the main focus isn't just on him for messing up or using drugs or romance as a bad habit, but as a bad tradition because all these humans do it. Like, oh my gosh, probably every single human has either abused or struggled with either drugs or love and addiction to either or both. Track number 11, Sorry. So this was a single that was dropped months and months actually before this album dropped. I was surprised it was on there. But it's a great song. It's basically just a breakup apology and addressing his faults and tendencies to push people away, um, stemming from his mental health and other issues growing up as a kid and throughout his life. Um, you can tell through this big breakup apology song And from his lyrics is that he has a very intense desire for forgiveness. He must feel a lot of guilt and shame for hurting somebody in the past or messing up and doing these things. And he is basically just asking for this forgiveness. Something that really stuck out to me was that he said at the beginning of the song was, "I made this beat in 2023." So this shows his attachment to the song and his feelings in the song. Um, like 2023, I mean that he dropped it in 2026, right? It was, yeah, it was this year, a couple of months ago. It could have been late 2025. I could be wrong about that, but regardless, this is like over 2 years old, this beat that he made. So he's been sitting on this song and hesitant on releasing it, whether he's scared to release it because the breakup was too close to the song and maybe he was worried about if she would hear it or what she would think about it, or maybe it just brought up bad feelings and bad memories and he was like sad about the song, he didn't want to release it, maybe he felt he was being too vulnerable on the song. But it's very fascinating that he sat on it for that long, and now we can tell it's such a special, meaningful song to him because he not only released it as a single, but then put it into his debut album, Trojan Horse. Also, this song just shows that he has great vocals and shows great diversity through his music. A lot of his songs are very aggressive, yelling, rapping, all these things, but on this one, he's just singing in a really great voice and showing his, again, diversity through his vocals and beats and other things like that, which is super cool. Track 12, which is the final song on the album, is God, featuring Current Joys and a repeat feature, Never Goodbye. So this song is, I believe, the most popular, most played album on the song. Definitely the one that most people are talking about in the sense that it is like a good song and a digestible sound. And I completely agree. He's rapping on it very well, and then there's this beautiful beat switch where we're hearing a lot of instruments, a lot of drums, a lot of guitars, all these beautiful, great sounds. We're hearing a lot of singing from Current Joys, Never Goodbye, and but the purpose and what he talks about a lot is he speaks on existential dread, acceptance of personal trauma, and escaping a life he no longer wants. He's very thankful to others on the song, expressing that a lot. He talks a lot about his hard work and dedication to get him to this place. This song is kind of like his. He expresses like his sense of him making it as an artist, and I think that's like what a lot of the point of this song is like, yo, like I'm here, I made it. Um, a big thing that stuck out to me was his verse where he says, "I'm falling and I can't turn back." Um, and like again, my interpretation, how I feel about that is he is now in this life and he must continue. And this sounds obvious, but he can't turn around. Well, nobody can turn around when they're falling. I mean, like if you're falling, you can't just turn. Like you can't just turn around and just go the other way. Like you're falling. Like you have been forced into this position that you cannot reverse. Um, and I think he did this like on purpose because like if you're walking, you can turn around, but he's saying like I'm too far gone. I'm fully into this. I'm dedicated to this. There's no turning back. I've completely fallen in. I've completely tipped. This song was also made in 6 hours, which is crazy. He met up with Current Joys after a show, and they made this song in 6 hours, and they didn't tweak it or change it at all. From what we hear on the album from when they made it, which is super super cool. Shows the talent of Matt and Current Joys and Never Goodbye. Um, how quick they can make a super quality great song. The and then the beat switch, I mean, amazing. How I speak on the guitar, how he was just rapping and then into this beautiful change. So that was my Trojan Horse by Matt Proxy album review, appreciation, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, super, super great album. If you haven't listened to it yet, definitely go listen to it. Uh, I'm really excited to hear more from Matt. Again, I love experimental art. I love artists being themselves, expressing their own things, and I'm sure we're gonna see a lot more from this artist, and I'm excited. So yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about this album down below, And what do you want me to review next? Yeah. Peace out.